Okay.
Hi, good evening. My name is Muhammad Ajmal bin Abu Bakar. My matrix number is 08DPI19F1077. So for today's activity, me and my group members are going to present our subject, International Financial Management, and about Apple Incorporation. Before we start with our presentation, I'm going to introduce all of my group members, starting with Muhammad Afiq Shahmi bin Muhammad Zahid, and his metric number is 1046. Durka Shini, anak perempuan Vijaya Kumar, and her metric number is 1064. Patricia binti Zakaria, and her matrix number is 1067. Ahmad Adam Mizhar bin Sukri, and his matrix number is 1069. Chanwir Rajan, anak lelaki Nadirajan, and his matrix number is 1079. So let's continue with our presentation. Can we go to the next slide? Before we start with going furthermore about Apple Incorporation, I'm gonna explain a little bit about the background of the company. So Apple Incorporation is a multinational technology firm based in the United States that specializes in consumer electronics, software, and online services. Apple is the most profitable information technology company with the sales of $365.8 billion in 2021. And as of January 21, 2021, the most valuable company in the world was Apple. Apple was founded on April 1, 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Their aim during that time is to change the way people viewed computers. They both wanted to make computers that are small enough so that people can have them at homes and offices. So from what we understand here, Apple has been known worldwide, and they have reached a really great sales of 365.8 billion. From the first, actually, they are trying to make a small enough computer so that people can use it in homes and offices. But nowadays, they has invent and has grown so much and has become the market leader for technologies. All of the companies has been look up to Apple Incorporation because they want to compete with the best company in the whole world. So let's continue to the second slide. So the operation of Apple Incorporation, their supply chain management. Processes are automated and suppliers are monitored on a regular basis. This means all the processes that happen during the production and all the suppliers that are supply the raw materials to the Apple Incorporation are being monitored on a regular basis so that they want everything was complete when the product is launched to the clients or to the customers. This monitoring assesses supplier capability and productivity as well as compliance to the Apple Supplier Code of Conduct. And then inventory management. Apple Incorporation employs a variety of inventory management techniques, such as the serialized method of accurate product tracking and control. The company also uses the first in, first out FIFO method that ensure the old model unit are sold before the new product enter the market. So this is a few of the method that are using the Apple Incorporation use so that they can maintain producing new product and make sure that all the old products are being sold before launching a new product. So I will ask my group members to continue and explain much more about Apple Incorporation. That's all from me, Muhammad Ajmal bin Abu Bakar. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Ahmad Adam Mizhar, matrix number 1069. I'm going to present about the financial risk that faced by Apple. The first one is foreign exchange risk. Foreign exchange risk refers to the potential losses from currency fluctuations in an international financial transaction. Exchange risk can affect investors who trade on worldwide markets, as well as businesses that import or export goods or services to numerous nations. Transaction, translation, and economic risks are the three categories of foreign exchange risk. So for the example, the first danger that Apple company faces is an economic risk from both a consumer and corporate standpoint. This is because consumers and business have reduced their demand for corporate products and services as a result of tighter credit, more unemployment, negative financial news, and financial market volatility. Okay, so untuk foreign exchange risk, apa yang Apple hadapi adalah contohnya waktu pandemik COVID-19 hari itu, waktu PKP, demand untuk Apple produk berkurang sebab unemployment makin meningkat dari kepada rakyat. Okay, next slide. Okay, the second one is market risk. Market risk has an impact on the entire market's performance at the same time. Diversification will not be able to reduce market risk. Specific risk, also known as unsystematic risk, is a type of risk that includes the performance of a single security and can be addressed by diversification. Example, Apple has settled into a yearly pattern of iPhone and iPad releases, with marked updates arriving on a more irregular basis. When Apple releases a new version of its flagship product, it must stop producing the previous version and start producing the new one. Managing worldwide supply-demand balance is a difficult task, but Apple has been doing it successfully for the past few years. It might not be as adept in a few years. So untuk market risk, apa yang Apple buat untuk hadapinya adalah setiap kali Apple keluarkan produk baru, dia akan stop keluarkan produk yang sebelumnya untuk naikkan sales untuk produk baru dia. Okay, so I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Madam. My name is Muhammad Shami, number matric 1046. I am going to continue about liquidity risk. Liquidity risk refer to the likelihood that a corporation will be unable to meet its obligation. Poor cash flow management is one of the possible causes. Liquidity risk occur when market become illiquid or when market positions are such that they cannot be liquidated without a significant price concession. Because Apple Financial Unit does not make loan, it is unlikely to face same problem that GE Capital had. A rising derivative book and increased exposure to high risk asset, on the other hand, are setting the ground for major meltdown. Given its leverage exposure, a financial asset meltdown might cripple the company, forcing it to divert operational revenue to patch hole and clean up messes. Liquidity risk ni contohnya macam sewa. Bukan sewa. Kita beli rumah, kita banyak deposit. Lepas tu bulan-bulan kita kena bayar juga. Tapi rumah tu rumah kita, tapi kalau kita fail untuk bayar bulanan, rumah tu akan ditarik balik lah. Contoh kalau nak kaitkan dengan Apple, contohnya kedai. Apple beli satu kedai, bayar secara bulanan aset, Apple deposit satu bahagian, lepas tu bayar bulanan sampai dapat. Tapi kalau kedai tu memang kedai Apple, tapi kalau Apple gagal untuk bayar bulanan, jadi kedai itu akan ditarik balik. Itulah risiko liquidity risk. Okay, next slide. Legal risk. Legal risk are damages or losses experienced by a business as a result of a failure to comply with the applicable law. Legal risk is the risk that arises from legal enforceability of a contract or transaction. The iPhone example, the iPhone maker newest annual report is riddled with additional warning and disclosure about legal risks looming around its business. In stark contrast to last year's live when it was compelled to admit growing political antagonism toward big internet corporations. Apple get a 30% share of most digital sales made through the App Store, with some subscriptions receiving a 50% cut, which it claims represents the cost of curating and safeguarding the marketplace, as well as developing its developer tool. Legal risk ni risiko yang berkaitan dengan undang-undang. Contohnya kontrak, macam kita buat kontrak dengan, contoh Apple buat kontrak dengan syarikat B untuk contoh supplykan barangan kepada syarikat B ni lah, contohnya. Tapi andai kata Apple gagal untuk menunaikan kontrak itu, contohnya kena supply dalam masa 30 hari tapi lebih daripada 30 hari masih tak sampai. Jadi itulah risiko dia, risiko yang berdasarkan undang-undang. Bukan itu saja, bukan kontrak saja. Contohnya custom juga adalah legal risk. Tax juga adalah legal risk. Risiko yang berdasarkan undang-undang. Okay, next slide I will give it to my group member.
Okay, so hi, my name is Sherwin. So my matrix number is 1079 and I will be explaining about the credit risk. So the credit risk refers to the possibility of a creditor not receiving or receiving late a loan payment. As a result, credit risk is a method of measuring a debtor's ability to meet its payment obligations. And a credit risk is the risk that a transaction's counterparty may fail to fulfill its obligation to the transaction. So basically, credit risk is something that when we take a loan from a bank or from any kind of places that offers us a credit, so we fail to pay to them. So the the things that will occur once we cannot pay the payment, that is called as the credit risk. So what can we relate this credit risk to Apple is that in 1977, venture entrepreneur who called Arthur Rock and ex-Intel manager Mike Markula invested $92,000 in Apple and secured a $250,000 bank loan, laying the groundwork for the company's commercial success. The credit risk that could arise in this case is if Apple fails to refund the funds or fulfill contractual obligations. It usually refers to the risk that a lender will not obtain the owed principal and interest, resulting in a disruption in cash flow and higher collection costs. So basically, kalau kita tengok dekat sini, in 1977, Arthur Rock dengan Mike Markula, dorang ada invest $92, which is secured as $250,000 bank loan to the Apple. So bila Apple tak dapat bayar balik, kira kalau dorang invest tu, kira Apple tu hutang lah dekat dorang, sebab they would have invested expecting more from that. Usually investment in people who invest, that's what they'll do. So when Apple can pay back the money that they have invested, so it should be called as a credit risk in our case. So the next slide, please. So next, I will be explaining about the operational risk. Dengar tak? Dengar kan?
Dengar kuat-kuat sikit.
So, sekejap aku kurangkan volume. So, operational risk. So, these risks arise as a result of a company's lack of internal controls, technical breakdowns, mismanagement, human mistake, or lack of personal training. And the risk of losses caused by incorrect or failed procedures, rules, systems, or incidents that disturb business operations is known as operational risk. So basically operational risk ni bila operating tu ada kan benda tu memang benda biasa kan. So bila kita in every companies bila kita buat operate something, there will be a mistake. There will be like a technical breakdowns and stuff. It's so called as a human mistake. So it is what called as the operational risk. So what can we relate to Apple with this operational risk is that there are numerous hazards that Apple companies face, but just few may be named. So theft and fraud and also staff well-being. Because of the alternation in working methods in COVID-19, which has shifted the angle of criminal attack on the financial institutions, Apple companies will be vulnerable to the theft and fraud that they experience financial difficulties. So bila orang sebab COVID ni kan kebanyakan orang they lost their jobs and stuff. So this Apple should be careful lah with this kind of things because bila diorang tak ada duit nak survive, so there for sure there will be happen the theft and frauds in order for them to continue their life. So that's what Apple should be aware about. So and also this COVID all encompassing impact on employee welfare makes employees feel like they want to quit. The Apple must ensure that the employees are satisfied with the services and recognition that they receive in order for them to stay longer and work more happily. So this Apple too, it's a well-known multinational company. It's a worldwide company. So diorang punya employees also they should be happy with the services and also the appreciation that the Apple provides to them, so that they don't quit their jobs or don't take any kind of decisions that might bring the Apple company down. So that's all from me, and I'll pass the slide to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tulkashi Kumar and I will be continuing about ethical issue. So the first one will be scam, a confidence scheme or fraudulent scheme, especially for making a quick profit or swindle. Yang ini suatu permainan yang tidak dibenarkan oleh undang untuk mendapatkan profit yang cepat. And then to trick someone into giving you money, usually in illegal way. Kita mempermainkan seorang, memperbodohkan yang ni salah satu benda memperbodohkan seorang untuk mendapatkan duit diorang dengan benda yang tidak dibenarkan. As dishonest or illegal play or activity, especially one for making money. Scam ni biasanya dibuatkan untuk mendapatkan duit. For example, Apple usually receive a phone call, often or several calls in less than an hour. What appears to be the real Apple support phone number, but instead the number has been spoofed. Mostly orang yang menggunakan Apple phone, diorang tahu diorang akan mendapatkan call daripada Apple support phone, tapi dia nampak macam number yang original, but mostly they will use the number, they will track it, and then they try to talk nicely and try to take money from you. And the second one will be bribery. Bribery is defined as the offering, giving, receiving or soliciting of any item of value to influence the actions of an official or other person in charge of public or legal duty. Bribery ni boleh katakan rasuah. Dia boleh diberi untuk kepada seseorang yang bekerja dekat legally untuk mendapat kita bagi rasuah tu, and then kita dapat balik benda yang advantage. With regard to governmental operations, essentially bribery is corrupt solicitation, acceptance or transfer of value in exchange for official action. A bribe is an illegal or unethical gift or lobbying effort bestowed to influence the recipient's conduct. It may be the money, goods, rights in action, property preferment, privilege, emolument, objects of value, advantage, or merely a promise to induce or influence the action, vote, or influence of a person in official or public capacity. Rasuah ini boleh diberikan dengan benda berharga ataupun duit ataupun kita boleh diberikan secara rumah ataupun janji. Kita dapat balik benda yang tidak like if someone is working in an official place, we can give the people who wants to do the bribery, they will give the things to them and then they will ask back things they wanted to do. For example, Apple's head of global security has been charged with bribery. Thomas Moyer is accused of offering bribes in the form of iPads worth 70,000 in order to obtain concealed firearms licenses. Thomas Mayer ialah seorang global security, head of global security. He offered 70,000 million worth iPads to get concealed firearms license. The third one will be money laundering. Money laundering is the illegal process of making large amounts of money generated by criminal activities such as drug trafficking or terrorist funding appear to have come from a legitimate source. Money laundering ni sesuatu perbuatan untuk menjadikan duit kotor yang dapat daripada menjual dadah ataupun gangsterism atau terrorism, and then diorang buat benda ini untuk jadikan duit kotor ini menjadi clean, putih. The money from the criminal activity is considered dirty as the process launders it to make it look clean. As I said, yang diorang dapat duit tu diperkatakan duit yang kotor. So diorang buat perbuatan ni untuk jadikan duit kotor tu untuk duit yang bersih. Criminals use a wide variety of money laundering techniques to make illegal obtained funds appear clean. Perbuatan ni mostly diperbuat gunakan proses yang sangat panjang untuk tidak dapat dikesan daripada government, and then mostly people using this process is like criminals, drug dealers, gangsterism, terrorists, and much more. For example, people doing money laundering using the App Store. That's all from me. I will pass it to the last presenter of this group.
Hello, my name is Batrisha Binti Zakaria. My metric number is 1067. So I'm going to continue on how ethical issues can be mitigated. So how to mitigate scam? Establish proactive communication with employees around fraud by educate the employees on what is and is not appropriate regarding the use of company technology and handling of company information. In addition, establish policies that define the expectation of privacy and the company's right to monitor the network activity. And also hold regular training on fraud and ethical behavior in the workplace and establish a chain of command in dealing with suspected fraudulent activity so that the employees are well equipped to deal with any ethical dilemmas. So untuk scam ni lah cara untuk orang tipu lah macam mana dalam sebuah perniagaan tu sendiri untuk menyertai satu tujuan yang sudah semestinya membawa keburukan ataupun kerugian kepada seseorang atau sebuah company tu, dan dia hanya membawa kebaikan tu untuk diri dia sendiri tapi keburukan tu jadi kepada mangsa. So sebagai employees atau pekerja, kita perlu self-aware and tahu macam mana cara ni mereka tipu kita. So next slide. How to prevent bribery. So report bribery and corruption concerns promptly. If staff have witnessed or suspect bribery, they need to know how and to whom to report it. They should be able to speak to their manager or report it via their company's established whistleblowing channel. So kalau terjadi sesebuah rasuah tu kat satu organisasi tu, mereka perlu memberitahu kepada saluran yang betul supaya dia tak simpan seorang-seorang dan tak menyebabkan sesebuah company tu jadi lebih teruk lah, sebab kita simpan perkara yang memang salah, iaitu menyimpan ataupun tidak memberitahu terjadinya dalam rasuah dekat sebuah company itu sendiri lah. So it should also be made clear to employees that it's not their job to investigate their concerns, and they should leave the investigation to the appropriate channels instead. So bribery is a very significant problem that can result in huge fines for companies and individuals and even imprisonment. And it couldn't let this to be a reality to our business or any business out there. Sebab rasuah ni pun salah dekat sisi undang-undang dan juga salah di sisi agama juga. So kalau buat rasuah ni bukan saja bahaya pada diri sendiri, tapi bahaya kepada orang luar juga dan juga organisasi itu tersebut, sebab dia boleh buatkan kita kena balik pada diri kita dan akan boleh masukkan ke dalam penjara disebabkan salah undang-undang rasuah. So next slide. And how to mitigate the money laundering. Learn about money laundering schemes. Belajar macam mana pengubahan wang haram itu sendiri. So criminals continually develop new tactics. The more you know and share with the team, the more likely to detect any attempt money laundering to the small business or even the big business. Setiap kali pengubahan wang haram ni bukan satu taktik je, tapi ada banyak taktik yang diorang guna supaya diorang tak dikesan oleh pihak berkuasa. So sebab tu macam-macam cara yang mereka buat, cara-cara yang panggil macam cuci duit lah, nampak bagi benda tu bersih, oh it's clear. So contohnya there are many ways to launder money, including putting illegal cash in the account, layering proceeds through wire transfers and conversion of cash to financial instruments, and making wealth from illegal activity look legitimate by falsifying invoices or overbilling. And also prepaid credit cards are also something typically used for these schemes that you may want to avoid accepting it. So that's all from me and from my group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.